Let's go streaking. The Braves have won 10 in a row, their longest winning streak since 2000. And at 12-1, they have the best record in baseball. So far, the pitching has been carrying the offense, but not last night. First pitch swing, driven deep left field, turn, whoa, goodbye! Now Justin breaks out the tape measure. How far's that baby going? Back-to-back homers. And now Loveland tries to get in on the fun, and he is gone! Today it's a business fan special, and the Braves have some business of their own to pick up their 11th straight win as they wrap up this series with the Royals. Let's continue streaking. It's a picture-perfect day for baseball in Atlanta, Georgia, as we welcome you to Turner Field, where today the Braves go for their 11th consecutive victory and their 4th straight series sweep. All year long, Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Yes, indeed, we'll try to go streaking. No, not that kind. Let's see if the Braves can make it 11 in a row with Joe Tom. I'm Chip Carey. What's in store for the Atlanta Ball Club today? So far, so good. Everything's going right for this Braves Ball Club, Tommy.
Yeah, it really is. Look, when you get on a streak like this, it's usually pitching and defense that you're talking about, but in this case, it's been the long ball and pitching. The Braves are first in all of baseball in home runs, out-homering their opponents 19-6, as you see there, including the 3 home runs in the 8th inning last night. And, oh, by the way, the pitching has been everything it's been billed to be. 1.76 starters ERA, 8 quality starts. Those guys are going out there giving the guys a chance to win every night. And when they do find themselves in a rare occasion of being behind, they've been pretty good there too, Joe.
4 comeback wins during this winning streak, Tommy. You saw the Uptons do the job against the Chicago Cubs, and then Ramiro Pena with that big home run against the Nationals the other night when the Braves rallied from a 4-run deficit. They're doing it in different ways, and it seems like a different guy almost every night. Really fun to watch, so let's keep this streak going.
Indeed, let's keep the streak going. Mike Minor's the man taking the ball for the Braves in Game 2 of the series. Mike is having a terrific start to this 2013 campaign, a carryover from last year's second half, and we'll talk more about that with you right after this. Away the Kansas City Royals. Atlanta off to a big start so far in this 2013 year. And Tommy, you mentioned you think Mike Minor's in store for a big year. He's off to a flying start.
Yeah, he sure is. He's figured something out since last year. You see there in his last 7 starts dating back to September of last year, 6-0 with a .82 ERA. Opponent's batting average real low. The walks are down. The strikeouts are up. So he's obviously figured something out. And Joe, he just seems to me to be pitching a lot more in control and much more confident.
Confidence, I think, is the key word there, Tommy, because down in Miami the other night, he pitched a good ball game. In fact, he could have pitched a little deeper in the ball game, but Freddie was really strict about his 100-pitch limit for the first couple of starts. He was at 101 pitches. And he's only walked one guy so far in his first 2 starts. That goes to your comment about the control, too.
So all is clicking for this Atlanta ball club, who tries to win its 11th consecutive game. Wade Davis, one of the newest Royals, will take the ball for Kansas City. It's game 2 of the series, and then we're on the road again. Braves and Royals baseball from Turner Field coming up with our first pitch in just a moment.
Day. Tom Hart back at the ballpark. Scary moment last night for the Atlanta Braves. 9th inning with Luis Avalon on the mound, out of the bullpen, and Louis went down. He said this morning that he felt like somebody hit a baseball into the back of his leg. It was a hamstring injury, but it was merely a strain and overdone by excessive cramps. So Avalon was back at the ballpark today. He hopes not to go on the disabled list. He said, I need a couple of days, then I should be fine. And guys, that's a lot better news than what it looked like last night, as an integral part of the Braves bullpen went down, but hopefully just for a couple of days. Chip?
Thank you, Tom, for that report. You're right. This is a Braves bullpen that's been awfully good, but it is shorthanded with Johnny Venters already on the disabled list.
Yeah, we had just talked about what a good job that Avalon had done filling in Johnny's absence, and you know that looked bad, but thankfully it seems to be turning out that it looked a lot worse than it was, and hopefully he'll be back out there pretty soon.
So on this beautiful afternoon for baseball, here's a look at the Royals batting order. Ned Yost is their manager, and the Toyota lineup has Alex Gordon leading off. He's their hottest hitter with a 12-game hitting streak. Chris Getz hit a home run here last night, over 950 plate appearances between homers for the Kansas City second baseman. And Wade Davis, the former Tampa Bay Ray, gets the start.
They'll be facing left-hander Mike Minor, off to a good start, 2-0 on the year with a .69 ERA, and most importantly, like we talked about in the open, 13 innings, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts.
His 4 keys to pitching success today. number one better breakers. Down in Miami, he said he pretty much just went with his fastball and changeup because he couldn't get his breaking ball to go where he wanted it to. And commando, his command has been outstanding. Only one walk through his first 2 starts in 13 innings. That's a drastic improvement for him.
You got to like when a young guy is missing one of his pitches but figures out how to win without it. That's a good sign.
And we'll see what kind of stuff Mike has with Alex Gordon. And a quick strike. Perfect day for baseball in Atlanta. 79 degrees. And a gentle breeze blowing out toward left.
We'll enjoy it while we can.
The Iditarod awaits us.
Oh, it's going to be nice weather for me.
Yeah, why don't you and Laser Baker go jump somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, should we wear like a little sweater vest tomorrow, Dave, when we go golfing in the morning, or should we just go straight short sleeves? Okay, perfect.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Gordon. Yeah, after the game, the Braves head to Pittsburgh, where this may surprise you, rain is forecast.
That's another one of those certainties in life, at least for a Brave.
Yeah.
If you go to Pittsburgh, it's going to rain.
And then we go to Denver and Detroit in mid-April.
Maybe they'll have the snow cleared off the field and at Coors Field by the time the Braves get there.
That sure worked out well for the Mets yesterday, didn't it? As the Rockies swept them in a double dip. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Alex Gordon, hitting .375 on the season. And Miners run it full, 3-2. Odd stat on the Royals, they're 1-3 this year against left-handed starters, but as a group hitting .299 versus southpaws. But not this time, as Miner heats him up with a fastball. 1 down. Braves did not have a good night defensively last night. They committed 3 errors. Let's see if they can tighten things up today. Upton, and Hayward in the outfield. Francisco and Johnson on the corners. Simmons and Ugla up the middle. And Evan Gattis, the Braves catcher. This is Alcides Escobar, the Kansas City shortstop. Hitless in his last 14 at-bats. And he has a quick look back at Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire today. And here's the rest of the umpiring crew today. John Tumpane is at first. Dana DeMuth is at second. And Angel Hernandez at third.
Angel did a good job last night.
Just missed the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Doug Eddings is not a guy to get on the bad side of, though, right away. So Escobar looked back at him after that first called strike. Eddings, at least in the past, quick to get that mask off.
Still a 1 ball, 2 strike count. The Royals come into play today at 7-6. They've surrendered the first place position in the AL Central to the Tigers, who've won their last 3 games. And after this game, Kansas City will make its way to Boston and play the Red Sox. That's Ned Yost, the Kansas City skipper. Took over in mid-May of 2010.
When you get a chance.
Miners shattered the bat, and Ugla will throw him out. 2 up, 2 down for Mike in the opening inning. He's broken a few bats in the early going this year.
I think that's one of the things he's done a better job of over the course of time is starting to pick his spots a little bit better on the inside part of the plate and And not only keeping guys honest in there, which, you know, that's kind of the old mantra, honest in, out away, but he's done a good job of doing what he just did there right too, getting a strike in there and sawing people off.
Well, be careful with this guy. Billy Butler is one of the best right-hand hitters in the American League. And batting .250 with 11 RBIs so far this season. He had a big series against the Phillies for Kansas City.
He had a career year last year, career highs in average homers and RBIs, 29 homers, 107 driven in, played in all but one game for the Royals.
And in that series with the Phillies, he hit his first grand slam, had a 7 RBI day on April 7th.
It's a good week for a lot of guys.
In the air to right, that's tailing away from Jason, and it'll reach the seats. Still a 1-2 count.
Back to Minor, though, pitching inside. I think a lot of that goes back to what we were talking about a minute ago, Tom, and that's confidence. You know, he didn't really trust his stuff. I don't think his first year where he really was, he didn't want to go inside. He didn't think it was good enough to get guys out inside, and now he knows it is if it's set up properly.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that again, it's kind of that old mantra. You don't want to get beat inside, and you know, if you're trying to go in there and you're getting beat, well, sooner or later you're going to say, well, I'm not going to do that anymore, and kind of get away from it. But, you know, I mean, that's part of the learning curve. You you spend so much time trying to command that down on a way strike. The inside part becomes a little bit tougher, and it's always tougher glove side for a pitcher. But, you know, Mike certainly has started to realize the importance of being in there.
That's lined out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, there's a difference between pounding guys in and going in effectively. You know, I know over the course of time that was one thing I learned, was that honest in part, and then you start going from a little bit more honest to a little bit more regularly, and you know, it's tough for the hitters to cover both sides of the plate.
Right down the middle at 93 miles an hour, and Billy Butler took it. Minor's got a good fastball in the early going. He gets the Royals in order in the top of the first inning. Sign is certainly within range. The Braves hit 5 solo homers last night. That 5 home run total is as many as the Royals have hit as a team all year. So here come the Braves on our Toyota starting lineup. The Upton brothers are surrounding Jason Hayward in the first 3 spots. Then Evan Gattis, Dan Uggla, Juan Francisco, 2 homers last night. And of course Mike Minor pitching and hitting 9th.
They'll be facing Kansas City right-hander Wade Davis. 2 starts, 1-0 on the year. 1 his last time out, going 5 innings against Minnesota, giving up no runs.
First pitch roller towards short. Escobar fields, fires high, and off the bag is Butler. Bad throw. He's 6. Second error by Escobar in the series. And a good start for the Braves in the opening inning.
Now this isn't on Butler, but the fact that he is a DH. He won the Edgar Martinez Award last year as the best DH. To get him in the lineup, Ned Yost has only one place to put him. That's at first base. He's about 6'1". He's shorter than Hosmer, and I'm not sure that Hosmer would have been able to rein it in rather. But we'll keep an eye on Butler today to see if defensively he measures up.
So BJ leads at first for Jason Hayward. That was the big inning last night for the Braves, was the 8th. They hit 3 home runs off Kelvin Herrera. And the Royals right-hander was throwing in the mid to upper 90s, and the Braves were all over him last night. Looping line drive, that's caught it short, and Upton back to first. And there's the first out.
And here are the 4 keys to pitching success for Wade Davis today. Number 1, cutter. He's got to have a good one today. That's his second best pitch, and he throws hard. He's in the low 90s, sometimes upwards of 94. And start me up. Last year, he spent the whole year in the bullpen for Tampa Bay and had a good year. He went 3-0, but he prefers starting, and he's very happy to have been traded to Kansas City, where he can go back into a rotation.
Yeah, he had a couple decent years there in Tampa, winning 12 and 11 games, and then, like you say, he did a good job out of the bullpen last year. He had a high strikeout ratio and did a nice job, but you know, he's getting that opportunity back here to start with Kansas City, and looking forward to it.
Justin Upton, the Braves hitter, and Davis buzzes the tower inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Let me ask you this. B.J. Upton played in Tampa Bay as well with Wade Davis. How much of a scouting report can B.J. give his Braves teammates in today's game?
You know, I think there's some value there, no question. I don't know if he pitched differently as a reliever than he saw as a starter. I'm sure he did a little bit, but no, he can give them some valuable information.
Hammered down the left field line and foul by Justin Upton.
Well, pitch him inside if you dare, but that didn't exactly bother him. And this is the home run last night on a hanging slider from Herrera that got up there by the terrace level.
8 home runs for Justin Upton, every single one of them more than 400 feet. And Justin's hot start for the Braves, the subject of our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot.
Leads all of baseball in homers and extra base hits and slugging. But how about that last line? As Chip just said, all 8 of his homers over 400 feet. I think he's going to see more and more of those pitches like he saw the first pitch from Wade Davis, to try to get him off the plate a little bit, remind him that some of the plate belongs to these pitchers.
I think if the Braves continue with this power that they've shown, I think across the board you're going to see more and more of that. That's just a natural thing that, you know, you start talking the best way to keep guys from hitting home runs is to keep them from extending their hands, which means you got to pitch in. So you just better make sure you don't miss.
Close play at first. BJ back safely.
Try to figure out some way to make them uncomfortable, make them move their feet. But Justin responded by hitting one foul over 400 feet on the next pitch.
Breaking ball missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I can't see it. There might be like an invisible partition out there, but it looks like Wade Davis is looking around the corner when he's going into his stretch. Like he can't quite see first base. That alone would tire me out.
in the air towards center. Well struck, but Lorenzo Cain tracks it down. That's the second out. Royals can cover some ground in this outfield. Alex Gordon's a Gold Glover. Cain had an injury-filled season last year. Jeff Francoeur a big night in Game 1 last night. Moustakas, Escobar, Getz are joined by Billy Butler at first, and Perez, the young Kansas City catcher. Upton at first, 2 outs for Evan Gattis. Good breaking ball, strike 1.
As you just saw, his breaking ball more of a curveball than a slider. He prefers that. He'll throw an occasional changeup too.
And not afraid to pitch inside in this first inning. You can understand that with the power of Evan Gattis. Already 4 home runs. 10 runs batted in, and 3 game-winning RBIs for the Braves so far in the first 13 of the year. A roller left side. Escobar at short. Long throw gets his man, and that'll retire the side. Good play ends the first inning for the Kansas City shortstop, and on we go to the second. No score. By Delta Airlines and by Ford. Here we go, second inning, no score in Atlanta. Mike Minor off to a 2-0 start for the Braves this year, a sub-1 ERA. And Homer Road, Tommy, it's been the same old story for Mike Minor, but especially here at Turner Field.
Yeah, Turner Field has been really good. His last 4 starts here, 4-0, .68 ERA, 159 opponents batting average, and again, the walks and strikeouts. I think it gets back to, like we keep talking about, the confidence in what it is that he's trying to do, the game plan that they put together, his ability to execute it, and like Joe talked about, if he's missing something in his repertoire, he still has the ability to move on and give you a chance to win.
That's a little tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Salvador Perez, the Kansas City catcher, has hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. Bouncer to deep short. Andrelton Simmons takes care of that. 4 up, 4 down for Mike Minor to start the ball game. And that'll bring up Lorenzo Cain, the Kansas City center fielder. 2 strikeouts, 2 groundouts for Mike Minor. Kane was originally a 17th round draft pick with the Brewers. Came to Kansas City in the big Zach Greinke deal. And last night Kane picked up a couple of singles.
Speaking of Zach Greinke, where the Padres have gone into L.A. and beaten up on the Dodgers in front of some big crowds.
Nice play, Simmons, and without a step throws him out. Lost his footing, it looked like, on the wet infield track. And then got rid of it quickly for the second out.
Almost did the splits. But even through all this, made a very accurate throw.
Smattering of applause for Jeff Francoeur. Bumped his batting average up to 261 last night. Jeff had an RBI hit. Now hits a fly ball to straightaway left. Minor very economical. An easy second inning. 6 up, 6 down. Dan Uggla goes to work for the Braves in a scoreless second inning. Braves up for their second at bat. Dan Uggla leads things off. Braves had a big 8th inning last night. We've mentioned that a couple of times, but Dan Uggla's home run may have been the most impressive. He turned around a 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
I was teasing him this morning. I said, well, you finally hit one where somebody couldn't catch it. He said, yeah, it was about time.
Amazing.
Like we said, sometimes you just can't throw hard enough.
Yeah, Kelvin Herrera was obviously disappointed with his outing last night. He was talking in the Kansas City papers today about it. He thought he might have been tipping his pitches as hard as he was throwing. As Uggla hits one high in the air toward left center field. Going back is Kane, and on the warning track. Will have room. He's got it. That's one man down. But Herrera also said he'd never given up 3 home runs in an inning anywhere. And he said, not even rookie ball. So that was quite a shock to the system last night.
I don't know if he was tipping pitches so much as that stage of the game, you go up there as a hitter, the guy throws 100 miles an hour. You're looking fastball and you're giving up everything else. And the Braves got their fastballs and they didn't miss them.
The shock to his system might have been the fact when he's saying I might have been tipping my pitches is that he just not really willing to admit that anybody can catch up to his fastball. No. Justin Upton hit a hanging slider. The other two guys turned around 98 and 99.
Put in perspective, Herrera last year in 76 games gave up 4 homers all year. He gave up 3 in 1 inning last night. Juan Francisco, a 2-homer game. Had a mighty cut. He now faces a 2-1 count.
I'm not saying that Herrera needed any reminders, but usually if you get to the point where you think you figured the game out, it'll let you know that you haven't.
The shift is on, and a barehanded grab by Escobar, and the ball bounces by Billy Butler. That's going to be an infield hit. Well, what a play at short by the Kansas City shortstop.
We haven't seen a lot of shifts lately, but this was on for Juan, and he split the third baseman and shortstop. Nice play by Escobar here. I'm not sure what happened to Butler. Got a good hop, and he just missed it. Again,
there's your point on defense.
Worth keeping an eye on.
Butler's in the lineup with Mike Minor on the mound, a left-handed pitcher for the Braves. And here's the second part of the Braves' dynamic duo, Francisco and Chris Johnson. Chris, a 5-game hitting streak, and look at this batting average for Chris. That's our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
Yeah, I couldn't remember earlier if it was, we were doing the open, if he was hitting 450 or 415, but it's kind of the same to me.
If it starts with a 4,
yeah,
he's doing all right.
So far, though, these right-handed hitters, kind of we see a pattern developing. Every one of them just about has had to do a little jackknife out of the way of a fastball.
Short lead at first for Francisco. And 2 balls and a strike. Sharply hit. Oh, what a play at short again by Escobar, and the Royals turn a double play. A sensational play to double up Chris Johnson and the Braves. That ball was crushed. Inning over. We go to the third. Still no score. Billy Butler had 192 hits last season. That was the 13th highest total in Royals history. Name the last Royal with a 200 hit season.
Kevin Seitzer. Did he win a batting title? Come close to it?
I don't know. I don't know my Royals history very well. Amos Otis, fast guy.
Willie Wilson certainly had 200 hits in a season. He won a batting title.
George Brett.
Seems too obvious.
1 ball, 1 strike to Mike Moustakas, the Royals third baseman. He's off to a slow start. Bit of a concern for the Kansas City folks. He's 2 for his last 21.
These guys all have new numbers today, and I don't know who they are.
Everybody wore 42 here last night as the Braves and Royals celebrated Jackie Robinson Day. And Moustakas with a hit in the right field to start the Kansas City third. Big turnaround first, but he's not going anywhere. That's the first runner to reach against Mike Minor.
Fans, watch the Braves face the Mets Saturday, May 4th, alongside Braves great John Smoltz in the Legends Suite. Ticket packages get you access to the suite, a $30 added value, and a parking pass. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Visit braves.com/suites or call 404-614-1493.
How did you pronounce? How did you describe? How did you describe John? What were the words in front?
Braves mediocre player. Great player, legend.
Something about sweet.
Chris Getz with a fly ball to center. B.J. Upton back a couple of steps, makes the play, 1 out.
If you're not working that night, will you partake?
No.
Even if John made a phone call and invited you?
You know, he hasn't made a phone call and invited me to play golf in like 2 years. So if he calls me to come hang out with him in the suite, I'm not going to do it. Just out of principle.
Okay. Heard it here first.
Glad we got that cleared up. Here's Wade Davis.
The friendship, the camaraderie ended. Over. It's over.
Just like they used to say when the season ended, that last day of the season, you can pick your own friends in the winter. Well, that's the way retirement is.
The winter's 12 months a year, it sounds like, huh? Davis pushes that ball foul. Strike 1. Georgia baseball fans, if the last name Davis sounds familiar, it should. Jody Davis is a second cousin of Wade Davis.
Well, they certainly share the same gene pool. He's a big boy. Jody was too.
Up and away, evens the count, a ball and a strike. Now 1-2. Of course, in interleague play, as we're playing in the National League Park, National League rules apply. I think that's a huge advantage for the National League clubs. The Royals pitchers have to hit in this 2-game series. And then when the Braves go to Kansas City later this summer, they'll be able to add a bat to their lineup. Big advantage, I think, for the National League clubs.
I would agree with that.
Me too.
One ball, 2 strikes. And that's fouled off Evan Gaddis and Doug Eddings behind the plate. Alex Gordon is next. He struck out to start the game for the Royals. And Davis is out number 2. Third strikeout for Minor.
I realized that was the pitcher, but it reminded me that the Braves are doing more of that high fastball attempt when they're ahead in the count. Try to get the hitter to chase one upstairs, and I like it. I think it's a great place to go sometimes for a quick out when the hitter's behind in the count. You were talking, I remember you saying last year, though, that's not easily done if you're a guy that concentrates on keeping the ball down all the time.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a lot harder than it looks like. I mean, you know, because you're so geared to being down in the strike zone that, you know, to all of a sudden just go throw one, you know, chest high or chin high out over the plate. A lot of times those balls end up belt high right down the middle, so you have to practice it.
Letter high strike to Alex Gordon evens the count. Much better start this year for Alex than last year for Kansas City. He started 4 for his first 34 last year. This year has begun the season at .375 and a 12-game hit streak. Popped up. Juan Francisco in foul ground, has plenty of room and makes the play, and that'll retire the side. Mike Minor pitches around a leadoff hit to Mike Moustakas. Bottom of the order up for the Braves in the third. Andrelton Simmons gets it started. Still no score. Last night, push toward that number this afternoon for the Braves and Royals. As we head to the home half of the third, Andrelton Simmons, the Braves shortstop, gets things started. And he jumps on a 1-0 pitch and skies it to center. 1 out. Mike Minor, the Braves pitcher, bats with the bases empty. And here's what's on deck for the Braves. That's brought to you by Delta. We'll be on our Delta charter after the game today to head up to Pittsburgh to face the Buccos.
That rained out last night. Let's hope the rain has moved out. They've given the Braves fits the last couple of years.
But pitching staff up there not exactly lighting things up. They can't be looking forward to the Braves coming to town.
The Pirates, as you saw, a game under 500, but have a very, very tough early season schedule. Their first 30 games or so are against very good playoff potential ball clubs. If Clint Hurdle's club can survive that, perhaps, Joe, this will be the year they don't have an epic second half collapse, which has plagued them the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, a real shame last year after they held it together so long.
And there's the high fastball used against Mike Minor. Davis gets his pitching opponent, has his first strikeout, quickly 2 outs.
Hey, we talked about the good news for Luis Avilan. We hope that it's just a cramp, that he'll be okay in a couple of days. Some other good news: Paul Janisch has been in Gwinnett for a couple of days, beginning his rehab assignment. And I asked Frank Wren yesterday about Brian McCann, because he was supposed to resume baseball games on the 16th, and which was yesterday, of course, and that got pushed back about 3 days, 2 or 3 days, because he had a setback, not with his shoulder, but because he had some tendonitis in his wrist, and they wanted to give him a couple more days on that, but should be able to start playing in games in extended spring training, perhaps as early as tomorrow.
And those extended spring training games do not count against your rehab time clock. Once you go on a rehab assignment, you can spend a maximum of 20 days on your rehab stint, and then you have to come back up to the big league club. So Brian can, as you said, get some extra time, tendonitis taken care of, and then once he goes out on the rehab, 20 days from that point, he'll be back.
Freddie Freeman's feeling good too, taking batting practice. He should be ready to come off the DL next Monday.
Hitters always like to come off DLs when you go to Colorado.
Yes, they do.
And he tears them up. A couple of good swings here by BJ. He's on him.
Former Rays teammates. Now a ball and 2 strikes. BJ's done good work out of the leadoff spot for the Braves. While his batting average is still in the 150s. He's been hitting 250, 260 or so in the leadoff spot for Atlanta.
Getting some walks.
And he took a slider for a called 3rd strike. He thought it was high and tight. He has a word with Doug Eddings. Davis, with back-to-back strikeouts, sends this game to the 4th inning, and still no score.
And the Royals, 2 teams that are basically strangers to each other. Atlanta makes its first trip to Kansas City ever later on this summer, but very familiar when you talk about the particulars. Just think about this. John Sherholtz was the man, the architect behind the Royals' 1985 World Championship. Jeff Francoeur has played for both teams. Both sides have had a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer at third. Garth Brooks is the preferred songwriter in Kansas City, and lo and behold, Joe Simpson wore number 9 for Kansas City, and with us, he wears a pocket square.
You know what? I'm just proud that you put me somewhere even 2 spots below Brett and Jones. I mean, that's a good graphic when that happens.
Hot shot off the bat of Escobar into right field. He's aboard for the Royals to start the 4th inning. Interleague play has been a huge success among fans all around the baseball world, but a real oddity. The Braves have never played games in Kansas City, and as Tom mentioned, this is the first time that'll happen.
That's hard to believe. I played there one time. I liked it. Good city, like some of those restaurants, that Kansas City barbecue you were talking about last night. I think the Braves are going to like it. I think Braves fans are going to like it.
Oh, Escobar wanders too far off first, and the Braves are going to try to pick him off, and he gets back safely. High throw from Gaddis. And did Escobar hurt himself on the dive back to the bag?
Evan was waiting for him to commit, but he waited too long. And since he was closer to first right here, just held onto it a step too long. I have no idea what the play was supposed to be. You're not going to hit and run with Billy Butler, so.
And Yost and the Royals trainer are going to come out and attend to Escobar at first. Rib cage was where he was pointing.
Really had that right arm extended. Doing some shoulder. What's the word? Subluxation.
Yeah.
Just throwing arm too.
He's going to stay in the game.
He's doing his own massage work on his side, isn't he?
One ball, no strikes to Billy Butler. He struck out his first time up. That caught a corner, evens things up. One ball, one strike. Welcome you to Turner Field with Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine and Tom Hart. I'm Chip Carey. The Braves and Royals wrapping up a brief 2-game series. Atlanta slugged 5 homers last night, beat the Royals 6-3. This afternoon we have no score. Mike Minor and Wade Davis. And he elevates the fastball again, does Mike. And he strikes out Butler for a second time. 1 on, 1 out.
Twice that's worked today. That one looked like intentional. He got Gordon to start the game on a 3-2 pitch. He wasn't trying to go up there, but he chased it anyway.
See if Mike can get a ground ball at somebody and a double play to end the 4th. They have been aggressive this entire series on the first pitch of a sequence.
That was an odd pitch. It was 90. He's been 92 to 94, and it almost looked like he tried to throw a cutter there.
Remember this spring, Mike was experimenting with a 2-seam fastball and junked it. He didn't have much luck with it. Hasn't needed it so far in regular season play. Popped him up. Out at second, and Uncla's got that, and 2 are out. Perez 0 for 2.
I hope that two-seamer is something he continues to kind of keep in his back pocket. I think it's over time, it's a pitch that he's probably going to need. But in the short term, I think it's the kind of pitch that if he could add to his repertoire, it's going to really give him that opportunity to have some easier innings with some ground ball outs.
I thought that was a key last night for Guthrie. He was throwing some two-seamers down in the zone later in the game in his start. I thought they were very effective.
A strike to Lorenzo Cain with 2 outs. Simmons made a dandy play at short to retire him and has loaned it back. What a remarkable transformation for Mike Minor. His first 35 starts, finding his way in a major league rotation. But you look at his last 21 starts. I mean, Tommy, he shaved 3 runs off his earned run average. That's almost impossible to contemplate.
No, it really is. But again, it gets back to that finding your way. I mean, I don't care how high a draft pick you are, how much minor league success you've had. It's a different game up there. And it takes some guys some time to figure it out. You're going to have that bump in the road somewhere. You'll see some guys that'll come up and have some success, and then they kind of fall back in their second year and things like that. Mike struggled a little bit early. And
slow roller. He pounced off the mound, did Minor. But nothing he can do about that as Cain reaches on an infield hit.
It's no man's land there.
Your first year, tough year. Was it like 8-17 or something?
7-17.
7-17. Was your ERA decent? Because I know you had a bad ball club.
It was okay for me. It was more. It was more first half, second half. Second half of the year, my ERA came down a lot. Didn't win many more games, but saw progression. So it was that confidence thing, and you go into the next year and you start trying to build off of that.
Big swing by Francoeur, who came up empty. But I think you'd agree too, Tommy, a big difference between your career start and Mike Minor would be the expectations of the clubs you were pitching for.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. You know, here's a kid that comes out, a high draft pick, had really good success in college, comes here to the big leagues, and these guys don't have much of a chance to get their feet wet. They're expected to win because this organization expects to win. I didn't have to go through that.
Yanked foul by Francoeur into the Royals dugout. And just like that, he's behind 0-2. Hard to believe Jeff Francoeur is in his 8th full major league season. Seems like only yesterday he was up from the minor leagues in a Braves uniform.
He's found a good place in Kansas City to, I mean, his skills are what they are. They're not going to get a lot greater. They're not going to diminish right away. He's right in his prime, and Kansas City is a good place for Jeff to be, playing every day in right field for them.
Line drive into left field on an 0-2 pitch. And that's going to put Kansas City in front as Escobar streaks around and scores standing up. Francoeur had an RBI hit last night in the 4th inning. He has one in today's 4th inning. And Mike Minor trails 1-0.
Like a fastball that they were trying to go down and away and leaked over the plate a little bit, caught a little bit too much of the plate.
Like a changeup.
Yeah, it might have been a changeup.
At the middle of the plate, though.
So the Royals strike first, 3 singles in this 4th inning. And here's Mike Moustakas. Runners are going. The Gaddis throw to third is going to be in time. Cain thrown out at third base. And the Royals run themselves out of a chance for a big inning. Atlanta happy about that. But they trail 1-0 with Jason Hayward set to lead things off. Two, 3, and 4 up for the Braves in the 4th inning. 1-0 Kansas City as Wade Davis goes to work. And this is off the plate to Hayward. 1 ball, no strikes. Long opposite field homer for Hayward last night, his 2nd of the season. Very quickly ahead in the count, 3-0. Last year the Tampa Bay Rays had an embarrassment of riches as far as their starting pitching was concerned. There really wasn't room for Davis in their starting 5. He had a big gain in velocity when pitching out of the bullpen, which makes an awful lot of sense. But as Joe mentioned, he wants to start. See if he can maintain his velocity over 6-7 innings with Kansas City today.
3-1 breaking ball. We back it up.
Chasing right on that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Royals gave up a big-time hitting prospect, Will Myers, to get James Shields and Wade Davis for their rotation. And a breaking ball over the outside corner, and Hayward questions, and he almost never does that. Was it a strike?
Like a cutter, backdoor cutter, wide of the plate. Doug Eddings missed that one. Maybe it'll be a pitch that he calls that helps Mike Minor later on.
Nice rally by Davis, who fell behind 3-0 to get Hayward looking. He struck out the last 3 Braves hitters.
3-1 slider and a 3-2 backdoor slider.
Line drive by Upton and into left field for the 2nd Braves hit.
That was an off-speed pitch, and he was lucky that that was just a single. Boy, he waits so long, rarely gets fooled. Having a great month.
And he's aboard for Evan Gattis. The Braves catcher bounced out to short. high for a strike. Gaddis right on that pitch. Early going, this Braves offense has been characterized as an American League offensive ball club. Well, Davis ought to be used to that. Faced all those teams in the American League East. Ball with Tampa Bay. Right now a 2-hit shutout and a 1-0 lead. And nearly hit Gaddis with that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I thought he did hit him. I thought I heard a couple of clicks there.
Yeah, I thought it caught his jersey, but it looked like it did.
Thrown some of those this inning very effectively. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I do think that is a little bit more of an American League type style of pitching where you're seeing out of him is the breaking balls behind the count. National League, you see more, fastball sinkers or changeups, I think, behind the count than you do breaking balls.
High towering fly to left, but that's playable for Alex Gordon. And he plays that off to the side, makes the grab. Good play, 2 outs. Upton back at first. Dan Uggla in the batter's box. Fans get $18 field view seats to see the Braves take on the Nationals April 29th through May 2nd. With the Braves Steal of the Week. It's good today only. That's a 40% savings on tickets to see the Braves and Nationals here at Turner Field. Go to Braves.com/steal right now. Washington and the Mets, the next homestand for the Braves after our long road trip, which begins tomorrow. Ground ball left side. Moustakas will flip to second in time. And that retires the side. 5th inning in Atlanta. Royals and Wade Davis lead 1-0. Two of this series, as you see on our Blimpie game summary.
Good pitching on both sides. Clutch 0-2 hit by Jeff Francoeur, the difference right now.
Mike Moustakas was the man in the batter's box when Milwaukee tried to steal against Minor. Lorenzo Cain was thrown out at third base, and that ended the inning. Moustakas, a 3rd inning leadoff single, the first hit to a left-handed batter by Minor all year. Ground ball to Chris Johnson takes care of Moustakas. 1 up, 1 down in the 5th.
Yeah, some bad base running by Lorenzo Cain. It always looks good if you swipe it with 2 out, but you get thrown out. That's a bad play to end an inning. And Evan Gaddis got a perfect pitch to throw on too. It was almost like he was already taking a crow hop Out from behind the plate to third.
Here's Getz. Hey! 954 at bats between home runs for Chris Getz, and it came last night in the third inning off Chris Medlin.
Or as they say in Kansas City, get us the way he hit this one.
Yes. That was a no-doubter.
You bet.
Now a chopper toward Hendleton. He'll handle it. Look at the quick release with a fast runner. He has such great knowledge of who's running after contact, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Got to know that before the pitch is thrown.
Always seems to have just enough on the throw to get the runner by a step at first base. And 2 quick outs for Davis, who struck out swinging in the third. That's a liner foul. As I mentioned earlier, the Royals are off tomorrow. They head to Boston, open up the series with the Red Sox on Friday, and you know that's going to be an incredibly emotional day at Fenway Park. The Royals press note said yesterday, as of now, there are no plans to postpone or cancel those games at Fenway after the horrific Boston Marathon bombings. As Davis sends this one to deep right, Hayward was playing shallowly and tracks it down. That's a Gold Glove play. And Mike Minor gets the Royals 1-2-3 in the 5th inning. Super effort. Let's see if the Braves bats can go to work down the run. The bottom of the 5th inning. The Braves start play today 12-1, 4.5 games ahead of the Nationals and riding a 10-game win streak. And so we ask you, Tom Hart, what are the playoff odds makers saying about the Braves' chances this year?
Well, Chip, we've known how good this Braves team is and can be, and so does Freddie Gonzalez. He's been saying it since spring training started. This is a really good team. But finally, the numbers crunchers are starting to catch up to it as well. How important was that sweep in Washington over the weekend? We'll just check out the numbers, and I'll walk you through it. According to Baseball Prospectus, the Braves now have a 71% chance of making the playoffs based on the simulations that they run. 6% nearly of winning the World Series. And the 7-day delta, well, that's the difference in the last 7 days of whether or not the team's playoff odds have increased over the prior week. So over the last week in this 10-game winning streak and more, and most importantly that sweep of Washington against the previous favorite Nats, now the Braves are favored to win the East, and a 14.4% increase in their odds to make the postseason. So even though we've all seen it with our eyes, now finally the guys with the computers and the numbers are catching up as well.
I know we've got a 10-day Delta thing coming up.
Yeah. So my question for you is this, Tom: when are you moving out of your mom's basement?
Wi-Fi is a beautiful thing.
There you
can
go.
get it at the ballpark.
Juan Francisco starts things off and pulls that one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. But hey, look, fact of the matter is, a lot of folks are jumping on this Braves bandwagon, and justifiably so. This is a very good ball club, but it is awfully early. We're not even a tenth of the way through the season yet. Still 16 more games left with the Nationals. Bunch more left with the Phillies, who are going to be a factor, I think. Mets playing good ball too. Outside corner, Francisco frozen. That's 4 strikeouts for Wade Davis. One thing we do know is that this win streak for the Braves is approaching historic proportions.
Well, that number 27-2 from the 6th inning on.
Yeah. Regardless of what the odds makers say, if the Braves keep doing what that graphic says, I like their chances.
One ball, no strikes to Chris Johnson. He was erased on a brilliant double play in the 2nd inning, started by Alcides Escobar, the young Royals performer. And breaking ball after breaking ball for Davis, and it's been an effective pitch.
But he's not pitching the middle of the plate at all. He's working both sides. Not a whole lot unlike Guthrie to this point last night.
Slow roller. Let's see the throwing arm of Escobar. No trouble. Remember, he injured himself diving back into first base. Perfect throw, 2 outs.
And with 2 outs, time for Georgia Power Energy tip number 3. Georgia Power's commercial energy efficiency program offers rebates to encourage business customers to incorporate high efficiency measures into their facility. So if you have a facility, call Georgia Power. Every time a team gets off to a good start like the Braves are on, I always think of the 1984 Detroit Tigers, who still have the best start I know of, maybe the best in history. They were 35-5 on their way to the World Championship. They beat the Padres that year in the World Series. They went 18-2 in April. Pretty much put everybody away in what was then the American League East. It was over.
So that put to rest the old saying that you can't win a pennant in April.
I think you'll still hear guys say that, but man, you sure can make it hard on your competition. And the Braves are trying to do that right now.
Another chance at short. Backhanded play by Escobar. Another good throw. Davis is in a nice groove. He is through 5 shutout innings in Atlanta, and the top of his batting order goes back to work, leading 1-0.
Baseball is brought to you in part by Blimpie, by the Georgia Lottery, by the Home Depot, and by Toyota.
Having a good time here at Turner Field. A lot of kids playing hooky today, which we certainly encourage this time of year.
I can hear your dad now.
Well, a lot of guys here in suits with their daughters today.
That might be true, too. Here's Alex Gordon. His 12-game hit streak on the line today. He's been held in check by Mike Minor. Only one pitch I think Mike would like to have back. That was the 0-2 changeup to Jeff Francoeur that resulted in a single and an RBI.
That was a good breaking ball there. When you threw a slider, how often did you want to throw it for a strike? You know what I mean?
I threw so frequent or so few of them. I don't know. It's hard to remember. Well, you know, most of the time it depended. If I knew a guy was taking a strike and you throw that get me over, that was one thing. But usually it was like that right there, where you're trying. You know, maybe you've established the outside of the plate. You got that hitter thinking outside corner. You throw that slider that starts on the plane of being a strike as a fastball and then finishes off the plate, but it's too late for the hitter to recognize it and they swing at it.
I think that's the point I was trying to make, is that you don't always have to throw it for a called strike.
No.
Just make it look like one.
Escobar, the only man to touch the plate so far today, is down a quick strike. His fourth inning single got things started for the Royals and snapped an 0 for 15 slide at the plate. I like what the Royals are doing. Last year they were 72-90. They've had 90 or more losses in 8 of the last 9 years, which means they've drafted very high in the draft, and a lot of those picks are now making their ways to the major leagues. A little bloop over first is going to drop in for a 1-out hit. The guys like the Atlanta Braves, who have the youngest roster in the major leagues, Kansas City can't be that far behind. This is also a very young Royals club.
Well, we certainly don't pull for them when they're playing the Braves, but I'm pulling for them to get back in there into the postseason because they've got great fans. Kansas City is like St. Louis. They have great, very knowledgeable fans and a wonderful ballpark.
Billy Butler yanks one down the left field line, foul. And we talked about this last night. Late 70s, early 80s, baseball paradise in the American League was Kansas City. That was a great franchise. Still is a great franchise, but great success they had.
They were perennial winners. Yeah, they had a lot of guys that were household names. They were a model franchise.
And the Braves will visit Kansas City June 25th and 26th this season. Escobar's taking some liberties at first base. He was off a couple of steps before Mike made a move to the plate there. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and two. Another one of those former great Royals was at the ballpark today. Bo Jackson was here at Turner Field for his Bo Bikes Bama charitable ride, which will be in its 2nd year. Bo in the booth last year and had a great time visiting with him.
Threw a bullet first pitch too. To another Auburn Tiger.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Joe couldn't resist. He had to ask Bo last year, Tommy, about his little meeting with Brian Bosworth. And Joe, you remember what Bo had to say that day?
I do indeed. He said, Boz got in the way of progress.
What a special player Bo Jackson was for the Royals and, of course, the Raiders in the NFL. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Billy Butler has struck out twice. They'll face a 2-2 count.
He only struck out 111 times last year and over 600 at bats. For a slugger, that's pretty good.
And you mentioned the best DH in the American League last year. Maybe one of the more appropriately named awards, Joe, I think, in baseball right now. The Edgar Martinez Award for the outstanding DH. To Billy Butler. And, of course, a fantastic player, a doubles machine while starring for the Seattle Mariners. Full count for Butler. Escobar leads at first and is going. Pitch popped up. Behind first again. Ugla running grab. Thought about a backhanded flip to Mike Minor covering the bag, but wisely held on. Butler's retired. 2 outs. Escobar at first. And for more on Bo, let's check in with Tom real quick.
All right, Chip, thanks. I was talking with John Scherholtz earlier this morning, and I asked him when the Royals, he was the Royals GM at that point, knew that Bo Jackson would give baseball a shot instead of football. He said it was really simple. The late Kenny Gonzalez was the scout in charge of following Bo in Alabama. He stayed every night at the same hotel that Bo's mom worked at as a housekeeper. Got to be friendly with her. He knew that Bo would give baseball a shot. Of course, after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ruined the remaining eligibility of Bo at Auburn when it came to baseball, that also played a big role. Mr. Scherholtz also said that the first time he ever saw Bo was on tape that former Auburn coach Hal Baird had showed him. They're good friends. He saw him on tape first and then finally saw him after they worked out. Knew he'd be a star, and he said if he would have stuck with baseball, would have been a Hall of Famer.
I don't disagree with that. He could do things most people can't. He was very special. Fast, strong, and that doesn't even describe how fast and how strong the guy was.
Yeah,
Had good baseball instincts, too.
I think he could have been a Hall of Famer in either sport had he been able to play it long enough.
Meeting on the mound over with pitching coach Roger McDowell. You got Perez in the batter's box. You have Kane on deck. Minor's spot is due first in the Braves' 6th inning. And down 1-0. Activity has begun in the pen. 2 balls, no strikes.
I'll say this for Mike. He's given up 5 hits, but one was a swinging bunt hit by Kane. Escobar had a dunker into right. Another shallow pop.
Who wants this one? It's going to be B.J. Upton, I think, flashing in front of Jason Hayward. No trouble for Mike Minor in the 6th inning. He leads it off, we believe, for Atlanta. He's down just a run.
fact, he's only trailing 1-0. He's pitched well. But on our Home Depot tools from the dugout, how about this comparison between last night's starter Jeremy Guthrie and today's starter Wade Davis? Through 5 innings, both allowed 2 hits. Only a home run allowed by Guthrie to this point last night. 1 walk by Guthrie, and then they each had 4 strikeouts. Very similar outings for these two guys, as they were pretty much in control of the game to this point each game.
And Joe, with 4 new starters in the rotation, that was obviously a point of concern for the Royals coming out of last season. Their starter's ERA was over 5 last season. They're pitching really well to start this year. And Davis, quite obviously a big part of that, as Mike Minor will be taken down for Jordan Schaefer in the Atlanta 6th inning.
Got to play in close. You got an inexperienced first baseman over there, and Jordan a good bunter.
Jordan had a big game April 10th down in Miami. Had 4 hits, scored a couple of runs. Again for Davis. Inside corner, outside corner. He has not missed down the middle much today. Braves have just 2 hits. And no sign of a bunt from Schaefer. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Getting the call to that spot to left-handed hitters, so I don't blame him for trying again.
A leadoff walk would be nice with a fast base runner. 3-2. Schaefer swings and misses. 5th strikeout for Wade Davis today.
And we've been talking about how he's done a nice job of staying out of the middle of the plate, and here's evidence of that. Slider, front door slider, back door slider. That fastball there caught a little bit of the plate, but got a ground ball, got a good result out of it. Fastball on the corner for strike 3 there. Another fastball down and away. He's had, I think, 3 strikeouts now on 3-2 breaking balls. So done a really nice job of staying out of the middle of the plate and pitching inside early in the count, getting these guys off the plate.
Upton hits a line drive off Davis's backside, and he recovers for the 2nd out.
I think he's going to be the butt of many jokes after this play. Knock it down any way you can.
Boy.
He's going to laugh about it, and BJ's going to the dugout saying, "Are you kidding me?"
Two quick outs in the Braves' 6th for Jason Hayward.
The anticipation every night, it seems like, is that keep it close and the Braves will hit a long ball and win the game. Can't do that every night. Today, Davis doing a good job of keeping the Braves from getting guys on base to produce anything.
Pop back our way and just out of reach. 1 ball, 1 strike. What was that stat we had about the comeback nature of this Braves ball club?
Yeah, from the 6th inning on. Great numbers.
That's a nice thing to have in your back pocket, but you don't want to rely on it too often. That's our Ram Trucks power stats. Look at the run differential from the 6th inning on for the Braves. 2 balls and a strike for Jason. Remember, Hayward was called out on strikes in the 4th inning on a similar pitch. This one also called a strike.
And it too a ball.
Line drive into right field. That's headed for the corner. Francoeur will play it off the wall. Hayward has a 2-out double. It's the first Brave to reach second base today.
Tried a backdoor slider, and it came right down the middle.
Yeah, one of the few breaking balls that one of the few pitches in general, but certainly breaking ball that he's left over the plate today. And after that generous strike 2 call, try to go back out there, see if he could get that backdoor slider called again for strike 3, but made a mistake, and Jason jumped on it.
So Justin Upton a chance with a big 2-out hit to at the very least tie the game for Atlanta. Upton singled in the 4th inning. 3 hits now for the Braves, who trail 1-0. Swinging for the downs, 0-1. Davis kept a little in reserve with that pitch. He was up to 93 with that fastball.
Good spot too, just a little off the plate.
From 93 to 84.
A curveball, I don't know if he's throwing a knuckle curve, but it almost looks like he's got his finger up a little bit on that hook sometimes. It's a good one.
Swing and a miss. And the side is retired. 6 strikeouts for Wade Davis as he preserves a 1-0 Royals lead.
Royals lead the Braves 1-0 on a Jeff Francoeur RBI. He's had a tremendous series already back home. Former first-round pick of the Braves after leading Parkview to the 5A state championship. His rookie year, he was second among National League rookies in batting average, home runs, and RBI, despite playing only 70 games. And no doubt about it, he made an immediate impact on July 7th. And he said that was a day he will always remember.
Still, it's one of the best days of my life. Obviously, getting to play in that, opening or playing that game in July 7th, I still remember it. But, I'm playing with all the guys, and I said such a special time was playing for Bobby. You looked up to him your whole life, watching him manage, and then you get a chance to play for him. It's a lot of fun.
After stops with the Mets and the Rangers, Jeff Francoeur seems happy and relaxed and back home in the heartland with the Royals.
What struck me about that, guys, and Tom, you can speak to this better than anyone. He mentioned what a great day it was. He never mentioned the homer, but he mentioned Bobby.
Yeah.
And so many guys do.
Absolutely. I mean, that's, I think when you have an opportunity to play for him, you understand what a special man he was, and you get that sense right away for why he was so revered by his players.
Big series for Francoeur has continued today. He has the lone RBI in the game. Jeff Dew's second. As Luis Ayala takes over for Mike Minor on the hill for the Braves. He answers the AT&T call to the bullpen. Made his Braves debut April 12th against the Nationals.
Good hard sinker and slider.
Kane, an opposite field hit, his second of the day.
He gets a lot of ground balls.
That one snuck through into right field, and here is Francoeur. 0-2 pitch, Tommy.
So he got him on an 0-2 changeup, fly out to left field his first time up, tried to go again, and I think Frenchie was looking for a little bit, and Mike didn't quite get it to finish down in the zone or off the plate like he probably wanted to on an 0-2 count, and Frenchie got enough of it to get in the outfield and plate the only run of the game.
Runner goes, pitch a strike, throw to second high, and Lorenzo Cain has a stolen base.
Great crossover step. Not much chance for Gaddis there.
One ball, one strike.
Big run out there for the Royals. Francoeur will be trying to move him over now.
One and two, your count. All year long, Braves baseball on Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Joe, Tom and Chip with you from Turner Field. We are in the 7th inning. The Royals are beating the Braves 1-0. Swing and a miss. Ooh. Down and in, and Francoeur over the top missed it by a foot, and he can't advance the runner. One out.
Good action on that sinker. Ayala's from Los Mochis in Mexico, one of the towns that has a Mexican Winter League team. also home of probably the original A-Rod, the great Aurelio Rodriguez, the third baseman that was on that Tiger team that I was talking about earlier.
No balls and a strike. And off the plate evens the count. Up the middle, but Simmons had him played perfectly. Runner to third, 2 down. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week with 3 great matchups. Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers take on Mike Trout and the Angels. Or the Nationals face the Mets in New York, or the Twins play the White Sox. Fox Saturday Baseball is presented by Chevrolet, and it returns this week at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Getz tried to bunt, pops it up. Gaddis couldn't find it. No worries, it's in the seats. Got the pitcher next and a base open in a 1-run game.
He put a pretty good swing on the ball too himself last time up. Chased Hayward back.
Ball, 1 strike. '86 on the corner, 1-2. Braves bullpen has done such a terrific job so far this year. Perfect 4-0, a 1.47 collective ERA. And Ayala gets out of a mess in the 7th inning. And a runner at second, 1 out, and the Royals can't break through with their second run. Time to stretch in Atlanta with the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Braves. 1-0 is your score. By
Baseball is brought to you in part by Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by AT&T.
I like it. Braves fever. Reason enough to play hooky in Atlanta today. Let's see if it's catching in the 7th inning with Gaddis, Ugla, and Francisco coming up. Braves have been a good comeback club. We showed you that graphic earlier. Last night it was the 8th inning where the Braves did a ton of damage. See if they can get something done against Wade Davis, who's pitched a brilliant game. No runs and 3 hits. He has struck out 6. No walks for Davis to this point. But the thing about this Braves offense, you're always, Tommy, one pitch away from impending doom.
Oh, you are, and that's really the way Davis has approached this game from the first inning. Like, one mistake's going to beat him, and so far he's executed his game plan. He stayed out of the middle of the plate.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Braves have had one leadoff man on base all day, and that was B.J. Upton when he reached on an error to start the ball game and never advanced past first. So get that leadoff guy on and put some pressure on him, make him work from the stretch a little bit. Might make some progress.
Braves have had one man reach second base. That was Hayward, who doubled in the last inning. Davis has been in complete command. 1-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat to short. And Escobar makes the play. Another high throw. And the tag to the chest of Gaddis. That's what Escobar did to B.J. Upton. A high throw, and Butler able to get down and get the tag. 1 out.
Good recovery by Butler here. A little bit of a sidearm throw. Nice job by Butler.
1 out for Dan Uggla. Three balls, no strikes. Green light and pulled foul.
Throwing a number of those sliders in this count throughout the game. See if he does it here.
He did, and Dan was ducking away. Somehow that caught the inside corner, and the count is full.
Boy, has that been a good weapon for him today. Behind in the count. That one didn't make it.
That one did, and Uggla knew it. And he's going to argue. He's going to say you can't call both of those. And the Braves have been barking a lot at Doug Eddings' strike zone today. 7 strikeouts for Davis.
He's been a beneficiary, Davis, today, of several misses to that same spot by Doug Eddings. Neither one of those were strikes to Dan. He ought to be on first. Missed 2 on different at bats to Jason Hayward. I don't blame him for continuing to throw it to that same spot.
Now the outside corner in play. Strike 1.
Good grief.
How close was that? The umpires in the crowd asking where that one was for Doug Eddings. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good pitch. I'm not sure that's what they were trying to do, but that was a good idea. Away, and then if you're going to come in up and tight so that one has a good look at it and knows it's inside and can't lay off.
He can go back there, or now he can Try that backdoor slider again.
Line into right field on a 1-2 count.
He went to the backdoor slider. They caught too much of the plate.
That's what he did to Hayward. It looked like before that pitch was thrown that Perez was kind of, I don't know if he was patting the ground with his glove, but he was wanting that ball in the dirt too.
So that keeps the inning alive for Chris Johnson. He's 0 for 2. 5-game hit streak is working today for Chris. Davis is again in the stretch. Too high, 1 ball, no strikes. Davis was in all kinds of trouble in his last start against Minnesota. He hasn't had much trouble today. He's held the Braves to just 4 hits. This is his 92nd pitch of the day. And it's a little pop behind first. Long run gets. Can't get there. It's a fair ball. They're going to wave Francisco around. Here comes the throw to Perez at the plate. And it's going to be in time. The ball bounced behind the tarp in right field. And Brian Snitker gambled, waved home Juan Francisco, and the Royals throw out another Brave at the plate in this series. So Atlanta out of luck in the 7th inning. And Kansas City maintains its 1-0 lead. Of Chris Johnson, but the Royals thwarted the play at the plate.
Just a little dunker out there. It's made a great effort. When the ball rolled behind the tarp, I think that's when Brian Snitker thought he might have a chance to get Francisco in there. And SunTrust's shining moment, though, turned the Royals' way. And then Juan had to kind of tiptoe around third base to hit the bag. He didn't hit it in stride. And nailed at the plate.
So the bad news is the Braves trail 1-0. The good news is Wade Davis is out of the game. Gerard Dyson will pinch hit. And foul fouled back to the screen quickly. 0-2.
Well, much like last night's play where Frenchie threw the guy out at the plate, I still like that. With 2 outs, I know it looks bad when the guy gets thrown out. Everybody says, why'd you send him? Well, you still got to make a perfect throw right there. And to the Royals' credit, on both occasions they have.
Ground ball to first. Dyson, a good guy to keep off the base paths. Last year, he stole 30 bags in 35 tries and is a 50th round draft pick. What a story. 1 out.
And like you say, once it gets behind the tarp, I think Brian made up his mind. And then, too, you got a second baseman throwing the ball, so you're not figuring he's got the strongest arm on the field. But, again, gathered himself, figured out where he was on the field, and made a great throw. The ball's a little bit one way or the other, and Francisco's safe.
4th at bat for Alex Gordon. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Remember, a 12-game hitting streak is on the line for him today. Count.
Regardless of the outcome of this game for Kansas City, they have really got to be pleased with the efforts of their 2 starting pitchers here in Atlanta. Wade Davis was terrific today, too.
And James Shields has pitched real well, too. Just hasn't gotten any offensive support. So,
yeah, and then that's the good thing for their staff is that Shields gets all the attention as their ace. And these guys are slipping in behind him along with Irvin Santana. Gives him a formidable rotation.
Line to second. Gordon is out number 2 and is 0 for 4. Braves 5-game packs are a great way to catch your red hot Braves in action all year long. Get 5 games of your choice. Enjoy savings of up to $4 off the gate price on each ticket. Get a 5-game plan today by going to Braves.com/5game or by calling 404-577-9100. 2-hit day for Alcides Escobar. Scored the only run in the game. This will be the last inning for Ayala. His spot due second when the Braves hit in the bottom of this inning. 0-2. So look who's up in the Kansas City pen.
With a little revenge on his man.
It's Kelvin Herrera, the man that gave up the 3 homers last night.
Well, Ned has a lot of influence from Bobby. And that's something Bobby would do. You'd think the inclination would be to give the kid a day off, but we want to get him right back out there.
Braves are asking why that's not a strike.
And I don't blame him.
Me neither.
One ball, 2 strikes. To second. And that will retire the side. Nice work by Ayala in relief of Mike Minor. 8-9-1 coming up for the Braves in the 8th. It's still 1-0 Kansas City.
Kelvin Herrera, who worked last night. His previous 75 appearances had not allowed a homer. In fact, he only gave up 4 home runs all last year. And in the 8th inning last night, some rockets. Jason Hayward goes the other way on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. A hanging slider went about 435 off the bat of Justin Upton. And then on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, Dan Uggla made it 3 home runs in the inning. Herrera was charged with another run later in the inning, gave up 4 in the 8th. But a chance to redeem himself today.
He said he was tipping pitches, or that might have been the reason for the 3 homers. We'll see if that's the case or not here in the Atlanta 8th. Andrelton Simmons will get it started. He's 0 for 2. Outside at 97.
I'm with you, Tommy. What you said before, if you're throwing 98, 99, do you think the hitters are going up there looking for something you're going to tip off otherwise?
No, they know what your best pitch is, and that's what they're looking for.
Keeping with our Bobby Cox theme in the last couple of innings, Bobby always used to say major league hitters can time a jet.
Well, last night should have been further proof of that.
Not close. 3 balls, no strikes. Ramiro Pena's grabbed the bat. He's on deck. And the top of the order. Braves are only down a run late.
And looking for their first leadoff man to reach since the 1st inning.
Nice comeback pitch, full count. A good rip and is still alive. Delta Airlines, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. Our friends at Delta will get us up to Pittsburgh after the game tonight. We'll open up the 4-game series with Pittsburgh at PNC Park at 7:05 Eastern Time. But some unfinished business at Turner Field today. $23,018 the paid attendance today. And this good battle with Simmons and Herrera continues. 3-2. Strike 3, and Simmons looks back at Doug Eddings in disbelief.
Missed a lot of calls in the right-handed batter's box today, but he didn't miss that one.
That's that pitcher's pitch. I'm not so sure that Andrelton thought it was a ball as much as he just couldn't do anything with it. You've thrown 96, 98 down there. It's tough to do anything with it.
So from 3-0 to a called 3rd strike, earns Herrera the first out of the 8th inning. Now Ramiro Pena takes a strike.
I'll give him a lot of confidence after a rough night last night. Come back from a 3-0 count to strike out Simmons.
Pena's been an unsung hero for Atlanta in the first weeks. And a fly ball to right. Francoeur coming on, can't get there. A pinch hit single, and now the top of the order's coming up. Pena represents the tying run.
He just keeps doing good things, doesn't he? That pitch almost the same place as the strikeout pitch to Simmons.
An old baseball sage once said to me, you can watch the game or observe the game. Pena was paying attention, took advantage, and is aboard with his second pinch hit of the year. Here's B.J. Upton. Stop Perez, 1 ball, no strikes. Upton 0 for 3, reached on a first inning throwing error. Crow and Collins are the Royals relievers working in their bullpen.
They're getting ready in a hurry.
Collins is the lefty, and he can bring it. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes.
B.J. Upton, a notorious first pitch fastball ambusher, and he threw him a breaking ball, which is his second best pitch, threw it in the dirt. And now he's behind 2-0.
High pop. That's headed for the stands, however.
Remember, it was B.J. that hit the home run to tie the game against the Cubs off Marmol that night. He was throwing about 95, 96.
Frank Kimball's joined Corey Garrett in the Braves pen. Upton backs away from that. It's inside. 3 balls and a strike.
He doesn't want to walk him all day long. Davis was throwing 3-1 sliders. This guy doesn't have command of his slider like that.
Fastball popped up. Center of the diamond. Gets at second, makes the play for the second out. So now Ned Yost a decision. You've got Collins ready in the bullpen. Jason Hayward coming up. But first a meeting with Perez and Escobar on the Kansas City mound.
Got a good pitch to hit. DJ just popped it up.
So it won't be Collins. It'll be Herrera to face Hayward. We know how this matchup worked out last night. Jason went opposite field for a solo homer. He was also in the 8th inning. Off the plate, 1 ball, no strikes.
Something off of that one. I don't know what that.
Yeah.
2-seamer or a changeup.
Trying to invent some stuff.
Roller up the middle, gets to his right. Glove flip to second is in time, and that retires the side. A run's a hit, a man left. We head to the 9th inning. The Royals leading on the road 1-0. We also have a 1-0 lead in this series in trivia answers over the evil Gretchen Caney in the truck. Let's revisit our AT&T trivia question today. Billy Butler had 192 hits last year. That's 13th most in Royals history for a single season. He was the last Royal with a 200-hit year.
I'm going with a former teammate of mine, Carlos Beltran.
Oh, that's a good one. How about right before he went to San Francisco, Melky Cabrera had a good year too. I'm going to go with Melky.
And I'll go George Brett. So we've got pretty much everything covered. Let's see which one of us is right.
Very nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
So Corey Guerin takes over the 9th inning for the Braves. He'll face Billy Butler, the Kansas City first baseman. We'll see Melky Cabrera again this year. He's now a Toronto Blue Jay. Braves have a home-and-home series back-to-back with Toronto.
They are 6-8, 3.5 games back of Boston. Off to a little bit of a disappointing start for them. Got Brett Lowry back though.
And Jose Reyes supposed to miss 3 months. May not be quite as long, but big loss for them with that bad ankle sprain. We'll see Toronto at the end of May. And Butler waves feebly at those offerings and is struck out for the 3rd time today. Good start in the 9th, 1 down.
Need to hold him right there. That's Corey's job. And so far so good for him in his first 5 games. And Ugla coming in to get some shades as the sun breaks through.
The 3, 4, 5 hitters are coming up for Atlanta in the bottom of this 9th inning. But first, Salvador Perez. He has grounded out, popped out, and flied out today. 0 for 7 so far in the series.
Royals have used several different guys, 3 different guys to close games, and right now Greg Holland is the guy up.
No swing, 2 balls, no strikes. Three and 0. Looper over second and into right field by Perez. So a 1-out hit. That'll bring up Lorenzo Cain, who's had a good day at the plate.
I know that Chris Johnson dumped in a double earlier, but man, these guys are wearing out the handle of their bats today.
We head to Pittsburgh tomorrow night. We open up a 4-game series with the Pirates. Here are your Chevron upcoming starters.
Julio coming off a good start last time out after a shaky first start. He'll be out there tomorrow against Jeff Locke, a lefty.
Yeah, watch that start for Tehran. That was a good finish to that start, and hopefully something that he's confidence-wise going to build off of and carry that over to tomorrow night.
Sure was. He gave up runs, 2 runs in the first, 2 in the second. They needed him to not blow out the bullpen for that series against Washington, and he hung in there and put some zeros up for another 4 innings.
That's tight to Lorenzo Cain. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yesterday, Freddie Gonzalez said he may change his defensive lineup for tomorrow night's game. You might see Evan Gaddis at first base with the left-hander on the mound for Pittsburgh.
That's what he did against the last lefty, Detweiler, that first game at DC.
After getting Billy Butler, Corey's having trouble throwing strikes now. 2-1 your count. Ground ball to the right side and through by Kane. Back-to-back Kansas City hits. And they're at first and second with one out. And here again is Jeff Francoeur.
Well, this is what Kansas City has to do. Their offense is not loaded with a lot of power. So they've got to be able to take advantage of openings like Kane just did with the runner being held at first base. Takes it to right field with a guy who's a sinker slider pitcher. Tough to pick up. Good piece of hitting by Lorenzo. And they're in business with one out, trying to add some insurance runs.
Francoeur, a fourth inning RBI single in 3 tries today.
Came on an 0-2 pitch, too, from Mike Minor. Change up. He just had too much of the plate.
A ground ball would be nice. As that one sweeps outside to even the count. Ball a foot off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Just a couple of balls off the outside part. Keep going out there until he stops swinging at it.
See how far he'll be willing to chase it.
Tried the inside corner. Didn't get the call. 2-2. And anything close, Eddings is going to hear it from the crowd today.
And that's not close. But a good pitch, good purpose pitch right there. If you get the call, great, or get the swing. If not, go back to that slider and sweep it back off the plate, see if he'll chase it again.
Broke his bat, rolled toward third. Francisco steps on the bag, throws across in time. Guerin does get the ground ball. He gets the double play, and he sends this game to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Braves need 1 to tie, 2 to win. And the 3, 4, 5 hitters are coming up. It's coming up after our ball game. We'll hear from Freddie Gonzalez. We'll get sound from the Braves clubhouse. And we will take a look at today's highlights. A couple of changes for Kansas City. Eric Hosmer is taken over at first base on the double switch. He'll be number 9 on the Royals lineup card. And the Kansas City closer is Greg Holland, making his 5th appearance of the season.
Not off to a good start. You see some bad numbers there, but last year 7-4 with a 2.96 ERA and 16 saves. The thing about his numbers that pop out are 74 strikeouts in 60 innings in 2011, and last year 91 strikeouts in 67 innings. 94 to 97 on a fastball, hard slider.
Justin Upton can hit anybody's fastball. Let's see what he can do leading off the 9th. And it's in for a strike.
One of those statistical numbers you probably saw. A lot of walks for him so far. 6 walks in 3 innings.
One ball, 1 strike. Holland, a 10th round pick back in 2007 by Kansas City. He lives in Asheville, North Carolina in the offseason. And went to Western Carolina University. Justin couldn't stop his swing and is behind 1-2.
As we've said so many times before, the key to any good closer is throwing strikes. You just can't walk people because you always come in tight ball games like this one.
Talked about the Royals starting pitching and how good it's been. While their relief corps has had some struggles, they are a strikeout bullpen. Royals entered this series number 1 among Major League relief corps in strikeouts per 9 innings.
Like so many bullpens today, they've got some guys coming in that can get it up there in a hurry.
1 out in the 9th. Here's Gaddis.
Oh, that's a slider, or
I think
or
it was.
changeup?
It didn't. It was a slider, but it didn't break much. It was really hard. I think he was trying real hard to make sure he didn't make a mistake with it, and it worked.
That's the best pitch in baseball that people can't throw on purpose. The backup slider.
Yeah.
You could do it on purpose. Nobody can hit it.
Evans 0 for 3 today. Strike 1. No balls, 2 strikes. That was close. 1-2 now.
Tough pitch to lay off.
Strike 3 call. Back-to-back strikeouts by Holland in the 9th inning. 2 out.
Boy. Been somewhat of a portable zone today.
Dan Uggla, the last hope. Remember, he had words with Doug Eddings in the 7th. That came against Wade Davis. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
I don't think Dan's going to put himself in a position to let Doug Eddings decide this at bat.
It's close on the inner half. Eddings has been raising the right arm all day. Just when the Royals are pitching, no balls and a strike. Now the Braves down to their last strike.
I'm not sure how he's throwing that, Tom. It's not breaking much, but it's 88. And I guess it's like a cutter.
Yeah. Yeah, almost a little bit bigger break than a cutter, but
yeah,
pretty close.
That stayed high, 2-2. And Ugla keep the game alive and bring Juan Francisco to the plate. He's battled back to an even count. He can't. Ugla flips the bat away in disgust as Holland strikes out the side in the 9th inning. And the Kansas City Royals beat the Braves 1-0 and split this 2-game series.
Again, whatever that pitch is, the cutter or slider, whatever it was a high one. Dan tried to duck it, didn't get the call.
So all good things must come to an end. The Braves' 10-game win streak by the boards as Kansas City beats the Braves 1-0 in Atlanta today.